One of the things that I suppose influenced me was when you go to a party or something, you come home, you've had a great time, but then the next day you say, where's it all gone to? You know, and I was looking for something more, don't ask me, something more satisfying. I did not feel the call at a specific moment. It was nagging, and then you kind of put it away because you really don't want to think about it. It's something, it's very hard to describe it. You know, it's kind of God pushes you along in a way.
I always wanted to be a nun, but I kept it to myself. I was very shy about it, or I didn't want to mention it too much, because and my mother said when my mother heard it, she was very upset, because for her it meant losing somebody, because at that time, you know, when you went away to be a nun, you went away and that was it.
Before I finished high school that year, I felt a call. So she asked me what I was doing. I told her I'd like to become a nun, but I didn't know where to begin. So she said to me, why don't you go back to our novitiate? And I went back. And when I went in there, it was almost a place was made for me. I felt at home. I felt this is for me. So I came home that night. I said to my mother, I'm going to become a nun. She said, you're not. I said, I am. She said, I won't keep you. I said, I will keep me.
I'm Sister Maria Kelly, and I'm a presentation sister, and I have been living here at St. Bonaventures for a long time.
And my name is Sister Winifred Harnett, and I've been a member of the Presentation Sisters, and I entered in 1954. So I'll be 60 years professed a nun this August. Long time. I'm wearing it well.
My name is Sister Carmel, and I'm a presentation sister. All of the presentation sisters, I'm many years, over 50 years, and I'm a member of St. Bonaventure's Catholic Parish. I was born in Ireland, in the County Meath, and that's north of Dublin, and it's called the Midlands. We're a family of 9, and now there are left my sister and one of my brothers. I'm the only one who entered religious life.
I was born in a wonderful place, in a wonderful country in Ireland, and the best county of all, County Kerry, and I am the 9th child of 11. I was the youngest of the girls.
I am the oldest of 6, and growing up in Ireland was, in those days, very simple.
When I think about they left their country as young women to come to our country and give of themselves to our children is such a selfless act of love, and that's really how they viewed it. They loved every student.
And the very first time I ever went home after being in the convent for a couple of years, I was very, very lonely, leaving my brothers and sisters. It was very difficult. I was asked to come out to the US, and I remember thinking when I got into the plane, if they'd only open a window on the plane and drop me down on a nice green field in Ireland, how happy I would die. But I'm glad I didn't.
There was a time before 1964 when John the 23rd, before he was made Pope, he brought about many changes, and before that you weren't allowed home at all. But then when we came here, we were allowed home. It depended on your superior. And you weren't allowed home for funerals, you weren't allowed home for weddings, and you weren't allowed home for anything. You weren't just allowed, that was it.
Becoming a sister is a sacrifice because, number one, you leave your family behind. And in those days, when I became a sister at first, I thought I was never going to get home again. And you know, you don't think about that at the time because you want to make the sacrifice. You're so idealistic. Any sacrifice isn't big enough then. But as time moves on, you begin to realize, you know, that you left your family and they could only come at certain times to visit you.
Sister Winifred left and went to Ireland for an extended period of time and literally nursed half of her siblings while she was there through illness after illness, and just so giving, just never would say no.
I am most happy when I'm helping other people. You know, I'm happy at all times. Actually, I have to say, and which is probably a very good thing I can say, I was never unhappy. I know I was sad because I've got a lot of suffering in my family, in life, but the Lord has given me the courage and the strength to do it.
The biggest sacrifice of all is giving up your own will, doing the will of God. That was hard for me. Because it is a sacrifice to live in the convent. You know, you give up the idea of marrying and carrying out your own will and doing the things you want to do and saying the things you want to say, but you can't. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. But you can make it easy by giving yourself over totally to God. Mm.
You know, if I see somebody in a wheelchair, even in church, and I'm passing by them, I won't pass by them. I'll stop for a moment, I'll shake hands with them, and I wish them a happy day. Because, you know, why should I pass by them? Especially if they know I'm a sister, I'd like to do that.
I think I wanted to be presentation simply because I thought the presentation sisters were very hospitable and friendly, and that appealed to me. I never wanted to be a teacher, actually, but I had no choice when I joined the presentation sisters. It's amazing how God works in our lives. Then when I became a teacher, I discovered that I loved it. When I was at prayer, I used to hear little kids crying out in the street, and I wanted to go out and console them. I loved my teaching. I loved everything about being presentation, though. I loved prayer life, the other sisters, their commitment to their vocation. I have great friends. I mean, it was a very happy life.
I think the students are lovely children, and I used to tell them that it was because of them I got up in the morning, and it was because of their lives.
We're able to love in religious life too, just as much as if we were not in it. But that was difficult, because it is wonderful to have your own child, feel your own child in your lap, you know, it is. That was the sacrifice I made as a religious.
Though Sister Maria doesn't have children of her own, she has so many children in the students that she's worked with over the years.
That's the sacrifice I made. I have nothing to give except just who I am. I think I've been blessed too with an attitude or a feeling that I can take things as they are.
I mean, we don't own anything. I have a car to use, but it's not mine. I don't own this house. We don't really own, except our clothes. It would be more practical that we own our own clothes. It wouldn't fit anybody else. So it is possible to be happy and to, you know, not have any money, really. As a sister, you're a very normal human being.
My mom had a brain tumor when I was in high school, and the rest of my siblings were still here, and she rallied the entire school the day of my mom's surgery, and she had the whole school stop and say a prayer for my mom. And it just, it stuck with me and my family. St. Bonaventure is the family that, outside of like my immediate family, that I will always be indebted to.
My mother, you know, she always said to me, all I want you to be is happy and at peace. And if you're not happy and at peace, you can always come home. You're always welcome home.
I would never want to say, be yourself, be your best self. Because being your best self is what the Lord wants us to be. And as I'm going through the autumn of my life, I'll try to keep on the smile on my face and the dance on my toes.
I think that people are as good as you expect them to be, and if you give them good example too, you know, they may falter a little bit, but eventually it turns out well for them. and they're good people.
The Presentation Sisters are the most beautiful and selfless group of women I've ever met. From my first experiences as a student at St. Bonaventure through high school and college, and now my life as a young adult, my love and admiration for them has magnified. For that, I am forever grateful for them and for the example that they've set and continue to inspire in me.
I can't imagine them not being here, and their presence has made St. Bonaventure what it is, and I can't thank them enough from the bottom of my heart for all they have done for me and for my family and for all the students I've come in contact with over all these years.
And they're just always anxious to help and to do something for someone. And if everybody started with that, I think our world would be a better place.
For more information, please visit www.pbvm.org. To make a donation, please mail to Presentation Sisters at St. Bonaventure Convent,